Hi guys, how are you? Let me see if we are live. Getting on last minute tonight. We could paint some leaves and flowers together. Let me see. You always have to refresh multiple times before you see it. Let me see. It's taking a little longer. There we go. Okay. The sound is on. Say hello when you jump on. I'm Casey. Let us know where you're from. I thought we could paint some leaves and flowers tonight. People tend to struggle with leaves, so I thought that's what we'll do because I was just painting this right before I got on. But this is what we painted in the membership on Tuesday. Let me get that arm away from the easel. This was our full tutorial Tuesday. We do a full tutorial together every single Tuesday, and we did this together, and we had this in the studio last night also. So I thought maybe we can, hi guys, how are you? Good evening. Hey ladies, how are you doing? It's nice to see you. Your bedtime. I know. Listen, I just said to my husband, I go, it's pretty late. I don't know if everybody's up with me. We have a lot of West Coasters, but I didn't know. Maybe just turn the volume down. Thanks for jumping on, though. I'm so glad. Hello, everybody. How are you? Desi's from Oregon. Hello, Donna. Hello. Hi, Robin. How are you? Let me see if I can get this up on my right screen. There we go. That's much better. Hold on one second. Okay, let me see. Kathy, hello. Donna, hello. Robin, Bonnie, hello. Nice surprise. Yeah, I'm always last minute, huh, Bonnie? I'm so sorry. Let me see. It's only 7 p.m. there. I knew we had a lot of people that had earlier times also. Hi, Lynn. How are you? Hi, Mary. She's from Illinois. Shirley from Kentucky. Hello. I'm so glad you jumped on, Bonnie. Hi, Connie. How are you? Gretchen, hello, from Washington State. She's clear across the country. We're from just about 45 minutes north of Pittsburgh. Shirley's from Texas. We have a lot of members from Texas. A lot. Pam from Arizona. How are you? Hi, Janet. Janet's from Texas also. Patty Houston's from North Carolina. I'm glad you could join us, Pat. Becky, hello. Linda McGuire, hello. Lois from Nebraska. How are you? I'm glad you ladies jumped on. Cindy Franklin, Karen, Milena, hello. Hi, everyone. Gretchen from Wisconsin also. We have quite a few Gretchens in the membership also. Linda from Missouri, Elaine from Ohio. Hi, ladies. How are you? Teresa, hey. Connie's watching the football game tonight, and you too. You know, I'm so bad. My husband said that the playoffs was yesterday. I didn't know that. And I also don't know when the Super Bowl is. I accidentally initially scheduled our Friends with Special Needs, their Valentine's Day party on the Super Bowl, so I had to change that. Hey, Jean from East Tennessee. Hello, Teresa Lee. How are you, my friend? Jan from Franklin, Kentucky. Mary from, I already mentioned you, Mary. I found you again. It's nice to see you. Yankee, hello from Alabama. How are you doing? I hope you had a nice New Year, Yankee. Mary Beth from Buffalo, New York. Closer. Hey, Kathy. How are you? Hey, Lynn. Hey, Stacy from Minnesota. Hey, Kathleen from the Villages in Florida. I know where that is. Julie from South Carolina. Linda Baker, how are you? We were just texting each other too. Hello. Nice to get your text as I was coming home from church. Perfect timing. I'm so glad. Thanks, Teresa. Hey, Rebecca from Georgia. How are you? Teresa from South Carolina. I'm so glad you all jumped on. So I thought we'd work on some leaves together, and we'd work on just a couple of hydrangeas, because this is what we did in the membership on Tuesday live. I paint a full tutorial every Tuesday live with the members, so everybody can ask questions and we can paint it together, or some watch and then paint it later. And so, but I know leaves are a struggle for people. I see my hair is like crazy. Leaves are a struggle for people. So I thought I would review that and go over the Massachusetts. Hey, Cheryl, how are you? Hey, Glenda. We miss you too. Rebecca from Georgia. Hello. Hey, Kathy, thanks for sharing. Hi, Patty. How are you? Hi, Debbie. So I know it's a real thing that people are nervous when they paint leaves. Like they're nervous about it. I'm going to show you some simple steps to do that. I didn't paint any backgrounds though, so I'll do that on black to start, and then I'll paint some hydrangeas on white for you. I'm going to show you two different ways to like color block behind here or build the flowers with color first and then build it up. So I'll show you two different ways to do that. If you are in the membership, if you missed us on Tuesday, this is in your vault. Everything's pre-recorded in your vault. The notes are going in for this tomorrow, I believe. 13 inches of snow. Oh my gosh, in Southwest Arkansas. We had like 4 inches. I can't even imagine. Oh my goodness. Linda had time to finish supper. Yay. Yet the snow, you have a hard time doing leaves too, Connie. Yeah, a lot of people do. And so I will definitely work on that with you guys. This is so fun to create. I loved it with the light colors. So right before I got on, I painted this. This is a quick one. I ordered a bunch of stuff that would go together, like a Lazy Susan, which I thought would be bigger than this, a tissue box, a different tray, not the trays we have made, but these were things from Michael's, and they were fairly inexpensive. So I did this little Let It Snow chunky snowman and I put some glitter on him. And so this is a Lazy Susan. And so I'm going to make a tray and the tissue box with maybe him like in different ways, like one face where he's looking forward, one to the side, maybe with a tissue. And then I'm going to share that, like we'll film it or we'll do it live, but this was fun. I like the colors. I like the rustic colors, and it was really fun to paint. So I'll be coming to you with that soon. I don't have anything else here with me. I left everything at the studio. Watching from Franklin, PA. Hey, Kim, how are you? And that's only like 45 minutes away from us, so she's local to us. 6.5 inches in Tennessee. That's shocking too, Kathy. You guys probably don't usually get that much. Oh, thanks, Debbie. I'm so glad. Rain in central Mississippi. You wanted snow. I take snow over rain every day. So YVO, I don't want to say your name wrong. Can you type your name for me again? And then I will remember it, because I did think you told me a different first name. Hi, Kathy. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah, I'm not going to read Debbie. I sent a picture of it to Debbie on her way home from the studio today, and she's such a resident for me this week. So she's going to do it. So I still have not tried my hand at resin. And so she's loving it. And wait until you see the things that she made. So I bought her these dried flowers, and there were pressed and dried flowers, and she made clear like sun catchers with them. They're stunning. We're going to teach it. Oh my gosh, they're so gorgeous. I think we're going to do like a class in the studio on it. They're so beautiful, but we can teach it online too. But the flowers, they were unbelievably, they came from Amazon too. You're watching from Alabama, polar vortex in Illinois. Oh no, Utah, cold and snowy. We got northern states weather. You did. Oh my goodness. Violet. That's it. Violet. Okay. Because I was saying to Leslie, I'm like, listen, I know like she told me a different name. Thank you so much for telling me. I appreciate that. And thanks for jumping on. 8 inches of snow. Oh my goodness. You guys, that's terrible. My husband was shoveling. We have a real long driveway and the snowblower wouldn't come on, and he shoveled that out yesterday. He looked so tired. Snow is so heavy. Yeah, those are the days I'm kind of glad I'm back. If my face is all shiny, I tried this new makeup today. I got this Laura Geller makeup, and I threw it on really quick. So I see him very shiny. I'll have to learn to use it right. Resin with flowers, and it is beautiful. I couldn't believe, Kathy, how stunning it was. And it was so three-dimensional, especially because it was clear the whole way through. I loved it so much. Kentucky has lots of ice and tree damage. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry to hear that, Charlene. And how are you? Hey, Barb, how are you? Resin coasters with dried flowers. Oh my gosh, that would be beautiful. Lois, send me pictures. Email me pictures. I'd love to see. How are you doing, Barbara? Let me see. Not able to go tomorrow. Be careful with all that snow, ladies. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I have my new overhead light. I was showing our membership this. This is, the brand is called Daylight. I got this from Joann Fabrics. I love it so much. So you can turn it on and just point it exactly where you want it. It doesn't come back towards you at all. And then you can turn it up and down. I love it so much. And it just goes right on your painting. So I don't have to have that ring light behind me. And I love it. I'm not like promoting it because, you know, for any other reason than I love it. And so, and it's, the whole arm's bendable, so you can move it. And then I have, for those of you who don't know, I have to paint straight out because I have a very extensive spinal cord injury, and I have to say, like, sitting straight up with my arms straight out. And so I have a phone on my easel that connects to my iPad, which I'm looking at with you, okay? So I'm gonna go to my canvas. If you have any questions, Linda, can I call you? You wanna read me, do you mind if I call you? She's very like relaxing in bed. She's in Minnesota. When resin on wood, make sure to seal it first. I did not know that. Wood is porous and the resin will create bubbles that you won't see until after it sets. I learned the hard way. Okay, I'm telling Debbie if she doesn't know. Thank you so much, Debbie. I appreciate it. You know, we're new at our hand at that. Like, she's been resining a lot more. Her and Vicky have been trying a ton of different things. And so we're learning. So we'd love all your tips. We know we have a lot of glass and resin artists in our membership, and we appreciate you sharing your information with us. It's fantastic. The name of the light, it's called Daylight. And it has a light bulb for the logo. So a light bulb for the logo, and then it's in lowercase and it says Daylight. I did not find it on Amazon. It was a Joann Fabrics, but our Joann Fabrics was in Sharon, which is like 30 minutes away, was going out of business. So this was marked down 50% over and over again. And so I got this for $35. I would have bought them all out if I knew how nice it was, like that I loved it this much. Because I think they range from $150 to $250. So if you have a Joann's that has a big sale, or you get that 50% off coupon or something, I would definitely try it. I love it. Hey, Shelly, how are you? It's so nice to see you. Milena ate my dinner, 6:23. Oh, I love that. Get your iPad, Linda, and give me a ring. I'll turn my ringer back on, okay? Although my phone barely ever rings. I don't know why. Okay, so we're going to get started. I'm going to go to my canvas, and then once Linda jumps on, Leslie's sick. She usually jumps on with us too, and she has no voice. I feel so bad. The poor thing has just been through it recently. Hey, Trudy, how are you? Barbara, thanks for joining us. Thanks, Kathy. Okay, so I just have a black canvas to start. I have 2 plates here, and I literally just threw this on. If you know me, before I get on the live, I do this in like 2 seconds. So I was just thinking, hey, Jill, how are you? It's nice to see you. Cindy Zuza, how are you, Cindy? So I picked a bunch of colors that we could use for leaves, all right? And I'll talk about it. You can just use like a teal or sap green, black and white if you would like. This is Viridian, which is teal. I didn't put a sap green, it's just a dark green on here. This is cactus green. I love this green so much. So cactus green, you can make it with a dark green, a touch of black, and some white, and you'll get this, okay? You can highlight with a mint green. This is a Lucas color. By the way, if there are any of our supplies you want to know links to them, go to kckhq.com. If you go there, scroll to the bottom of the page, and it'll say my favorite things, and there's links to everything we use on there, okay? So you can always check that out. So mint green, if you take a little sap green and put white in it, you're gonna come up with mint green. This is just cheating, okay? This is Arctic blue, it's another Lucas paint. If you would take a sky blue, like a lighter blue, or cerulean blue, put a little bit of teal and a little bit of white in there, you can get sky blue. If you're in the membership, we have multiple color mixing videos to show you how to mix these. And when you're mixing colors, mix very small amounts, because if you do that, then you can get your color a lot quicker. Don't mix a whole pile of paint. This is a pastel yellow, which is the Lucas brand. If you take a cad yellow and put white in it, or actually when you're working with pastels colors, always pull your white out first and then put the color into it so you can keep it nice and light. It's a little bit easier that way. So white and a little cad yellow, and you can make that, okay? Let me see if sometimes people can't get through on my phone. I think the service, there we go, is really bad. at my house. So I'm going to put Linda on speaker.
Reach the down on Linda.
Oh, I guess not. So she has her notification silence. She'll hear this in a minute. Okay, guys. So the first thing that we want to do is I'm going to get my script liner because we are going to make a stem. Marlene Daniels, how are you, my friend? It's nice to see you. Hi, Lori. Jill's from Georgia. How's everybody doing? Did you have a good New Year's? I hope everybody had a nice New Year's. I'm looking forward to 2025. Lots of fun things coming with us. 2025. Lots of fun paintings as well. Tracy, hello. You're working on the pink bouquet today. Perfect. This is perfect practice for it. Oh, your iPad isn't loading. That's okay. I'll keep looking at comments then, Linda. No worries. Okay, guys, so what I'm going to do is I'm on a black canvas just because I didn't throw a background in. You can't see highlights on the leaves unless I have some color behind it. So I'm just going to get, if you're working on this canvas, okay, if this is what we're working on and we're working on the leaves, you would just, I'm just putting, I have a light gray background in. That's it. Light gray. I have a touch of mint green behind here. We're not going to do the full tutorial because we do have this in the vault and in the membership, but I want to show you, you know, tips on making leaves and also building a hydrangea as well, okay? But since we're on a black canvas, we have to make this stem a little lighter. If you're making a stem on a gray canvas, you're going to take any of your green and add a touch of black to it. It needs to be a little bit darker. Or you can have a brown canvas. So, oh, wait, look. Well, this is a white canvas. My husband grabbed a drawn canvas at the studio, but it's white. I have no background to put it on. Let me see. There's Leslie. We miss you, Leslie. She has no voice. All right, so we have our green and our white. But let's make, you know, we're just going to make some stems. You know, I really would prefer to paint a whole painting instead of like just some leaves, but we're just going to make some leaves, okay? So I'm going to get a round brush, and I'm using the brushes from our brush pack. We have like this 10-pack brush pack, okay? And then we have this 2-pack brush pack. All of our paintings are using brushes from those brush packs, mainly the 10-pack, and then the dome brush I always put as optional because we added those later. If you need to look at any of our brushes, there's the QR code for our app, or you can search Casey K in the App Store, okay? So I'm going to go back to here. I am going to get my round brush. All right, so this is one of the round brushes, and this, I believe this one is the 4. I have so much paint on it, you can't tell. Okay, so you can use any of these colors, all right? But when I use the teal, I always gray it down. So I pull some black into it. When you're making the base color, I want you to take the tip of your brush and I want you to put it in water and I want you to add it to the side pile. And then you're going to water that down really well, okay? So then I might go, and I'm going to show you with a couple different colors. Then I'm going to take a little scoop of mint green. I'm going to take a little scoop of white, and I'm going to tap them both off. If you don't tap them off, you're only going to get the last color. So you have to take the time to tap those last colors off, okay? And I ordered, and they arrived today. Yay, Robin. I hope you love your brushes. I hope you do. So I always, and thank you so much for your order. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, okay? I just have to remember to zoom out later. So I'm going to zoom in. But what I do is I always start at the point and then I like swoop around, all right? And then I'm going to go to this side and I'm going to swoop around. I'm going to show you how to make larger leaves too. But this is, you know, these ones are a little, maybe a little past ½ inch to 3/4 inch, all right? So they should just be like 2 strokes, all right? 2 strokes. But you have to have it, there's a third one when it gets a little bit bigger. Now you can stagger this, you know, on the sides of the leaves, you can stagger them, or you can put them right across from each other. There's Linda. Hey, my friend, how are you?
Okay, it's like you didn't answer.
I'm so sorry. I told you I have no reception in the house, you know? Okay, so guys, I'm going to take a little, say, mint green, a little Arctic blue, tap it off, maybe a little white. I like the Arctic blue as a highlight. How are you doing, Linda?
Doing okay.
Yay. So guys, when I want to start at the point and the point's not like as accessible, I'll turn my canvas. So like if I want to start right here, I'm going to swoop around to the left. I'm going to swoop around to the right. Okay. If it's, you know, you need to make a stroke in the middle, you can't. Yeah. Linda announced to her coworkers today that she is, you want to say it, Linda?
I'm retiring.
She's
Part of February.
Yes, I'm so excited for you. So excited for you. Yay. So I'm going to stagger this one a little bit, okay? So point, and you can use a smaller round brush. The pointy brushes are the round brushes, okay? You can use a smaller round brush for smaller leaves as well, all right? I'm just making it a little bigger. And then I'm going to show you how to do like really big, you know, much larger leaves with your 1/2 inch flat without, you know, a lot of work. So these are basically 2 strokes, okay? Linda, does anybody have any questions? Can you give tips on how to the filler flower from the pink bouquet? Yes, I definitely can, Kelly. Thank you so much. Listen, your bouquet's gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Linda, so tell you a little bit about Linda. Always water down this base pile too, guys. So I'll go over here and I'll use some of this cactus green, which I love, love, love. And you can make this, again, use a sap green, like a dark green, and put a little black and white in it, and you can make this color very easily. But the base color, always water down. All right, so I'll show you a couple different colors. So then you can go, I can use my Arctic blue and maybe a touch of white. But she's talking about this flower in this arrangement. This flower here, this filler flower. I'll show you how to do that too. Okay. Yeah, Linda, I'm so excited for you. So how we met Linda, she's in our membership and she lives in Minnesota, and she actually came here. Has it been 3 times, right?
I think so.
Yeah, she's flown here and stayed 3 times, and she became an instructor as well. That's not what she retired from. I love this cactus green with the Arctic blue. It comes out beautifully. It's a nice highlight color, but play with your colors, like for your leaves, you know. Also, like, think of like where it would be brighter. Say the light was coming down from this side, I might use a little bit more white on this side of my, you know, my leaves. I'm always thinking like what would be lighter, what would be darker, especially if you had bigger leaves as well. But yeah, Linda, she became an instructor without planning to be an instructor, and she does a tremendous job. And then you had a knee replacement.
I've been lazy since I had my knee replacement.
What'd you say?
I've been lazy since I had my knee replacement. It took me about a little over 3 months for it to get healed where I don't need a cane. So my first class I'll be teaching again is February 11th.
Really?
Yeah.
I know that was rough for you. I feel so bad. I'm so glad that you're getting back to it. Right in time for Valentine's Day. Hey Connie, Zach, how are you, my friend? Daylight link, please. Daylight link. I'll look for it and I'll post it, Linda, for sure. Cindy Franklin, hello. Glenda retired 7 years ago, but she's done 2 maternity leaves for teachers since. So you got sucked back in, huh? Tommy Lou, hello. Okay, so let's do one more. All right, does anybody have any questions on these leaves? Anybody?
No questions.
No questions. You guys are easy peasy. Okay, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of white. I don't know why I made that big long one. You can sometimes too, like if you wanted to, and I do like the yellow with the cactus green too. We'll put the stem in afterwards. We're going to imagine it that it's there. I'm going to show you how to connect a stem too. So like that you have a little bit of space in between there. All right, but the yellow looks really pretty also. But again, you're gonna have to put your water into this base pile, okay? And then I'm going to scoop, take a little bit of the chunky paint of the yellow and the white. I'm gonna tap off that white a little bit because I knew it was too much. Start on the side that you feel like should be highlighted the most, you know, like the upper side of that. And then I'll bring this over here, okay? So you can also, with your stems, I'm going to show you how to do some big, I'm going to grab the sap green for doing some bigger leaves too. So, and I could show you how to mix it if you like. So then we can make our stem. You always, when you use the script liner, so the script liner has long bristles on it. Every single one of our painters paintings has a script liner in it. Like hundreds and hundreds of paintings all have this brush in it because we highlight with it and we also put in some low lights with it. You have to water down the paint when you use it. Now, if you press harder, you can get a wider stroke. Do you see that? And if you barely touch, which is what we do a lot with this, you get a very thin, fine stroke. Script liner, I feel like, is important. When we made our own brush line, this brush is a brush, when we used to use like the golden Taklon brush, it was very bendy. And so people would struggle with it because a lot of times when someone's new to painting, they want to apply a lot of pressure. And so with ours, we made it a little stiffer, and our painters seem to love it, a lot more. And they use it much more often. So you can pull in your stems like this. Okay. A lot of times too, when you're making, after you have a stem in, if you want to make it look like anywhere that's, if you want to make it look like it's raised up in an area, just put a little bit of a white highlight on it. Anything you want to make look like it's coming towards you, make it brighter. If you want something to look like it recesses back, make it darker. Okay. So I'm going to just lightly glide over this area right here. I know this one was messy. And, so you can give that bumpy, effect to something. You can always go back and say, I want a little bit of brightness over on this side. You can take your script liner and do that. You can touch that as well. Okay. You guys okay with that? I think I used my arms too much today. I'm shaky. I'm gonna get. You're quiet, Linda.
Nope. There's nothing going on really.
Dude, everybody's quiet today. Is everybody like tucked in bed?
Got Chipper that joined us from California.
Ah, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Oh, hi, Janet. How are you? Lucy Lou, how are you, Luce? Okay, so this is sap green. All right, right here. That's sap green. That's a Creative Inspirations paint. All right. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how to make some bigger leaves, okay? So I'm going to get my 1/2 inch flat brush, all right? 1/2 inch flat. And if you want to, should have got some cad yellow too to pull into this. Give me one more second, sorry. So not prepared with the colors. We're gonna get some cad yellow also. But I had fun painting on the Lazy Susan today. Something different,
Linda says yours looks great. Cindy says she loves your tutorials.
Aw, thanks guys. Thank you so much, ladies.
Trudy says that hers never come out as easy as you make it look. Trudy,
It'll come, I promise. It'll come. I want to show you really quick and just practice, guys. Then it'll start coming naturally to you. So, oops. So you want your green, a little bit of black, all right? Put a little bit of black in that green. Just want to show you how to make that green earth. So, you don't have to look. There you have it. Same color as that. So don't ever feel like you have to buy everything. So if you need it like a little bit darker, just get a little bit more black and a little bit more of your green, and there you go. Don't feel like you have to buy all the colors, okay? And I don't ever want you to feel like that. We don't want people to have to buy things in order to paint. We talk about how to mix stuff all the time. Use the supplies you have. If you have craft paints, use your craft paints. We have a ton of people who use craft paints. The only thing I suggest is that you get a thick white, because that will really help you in building your paintings with us. So like a Lucas paint white or Creative Inspirations white. Other than that, you're good to go with any paints. Now Liquitex a little harder to dry brush with, and we do have dry brushing in some paintings, but it still works as well. Okay guys, so we're gonna make a bigger leaf, all right? I might have to zoom out just a little bit. Okay, So we're gonna make a bigger leaf. So I'm gonna go on the top side. I'm gonna swoop around this way. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull in and I'm gonna lift off towards the middle, okay? And then when I go back for the second round, I'm gonna grab just my green. I'm gonna swoop around this way and I'm gonna lift off towards the middle, okay? We want that darkness in the middle. The reason why we want that in the middle is because it makes your eye think that the leaf is folding in, okay? And so we can go and put a vein through that when we're done. But just easy strokes like that. This is our 1/2" flat brush. When I'm pulling in, I have my brush at an angle like this. I'm pulling in and my strokes are lifting off. If you press hard and lift off, even if you have your brush at an angle, you're gonna have a stop mark there. Where if you just lightly glide off, then you're gonna have that feathered mark and it's gonna let that darkness show through. Especially if you're working on like a dark color behind, like use that to your advantage. So then you don't have to build your shadows, okay? So then I'll go to the next one. I'll go,
I think it's Wyvo.
what was that?
I think her name's Wyvo. I'm not sure.
Oh no, that's Violet. It's Violet. Now I know. It's Violet, but the one that, yeah, go ahead.
Do you think that her paint, Apple Barrel, could be too dry or too old? Because once I put it on the palette, it seems to dry too fast.
She could, it could be if it's drying too fast, yeah, because that is like, it's a wetter paint, you know? So that could be the case, Violet. You could use, instead of like getting rid of it and starting over, to use those same paints, you could get a retarder. Let me show you what it is, because the retarders like last forever. This one has a little bit more white in it, okay? Just like that. Let me get a retarder and show you what that is. So, 1 second. So you use this whenever you're not dry brushing and you're getting your paints dry. These canvases, ever since COVID, like literally they're so dry anymore. The ones I find the best so far, the least dry, are these Practica canvases. Other brands are super dry. And you could use this retarder. This is a golden product. And I mean, look how much I have. I bought this probably years ago, and you use it as a 6-to-1 ratio. I don't ever measure it. I put my paints on my plate. It's a clear liquid, and you pull in just like a drop, you know, just a little bit as you're painting into your color. It keeps the color fastness as well. It doesn't change your shade at all. They sell these in small bottles, so it costs you, it's much less than this, and it'll last you forever. So you can try that. That's, I believe, on Jerry's Artorama also, but I'm sure that's on, oops, I just unplugged my light. I'm sure that you can find that on Amazon probably too. It's called it's Golden Retarder. Okay, additive for slowing dry time of acrylic paints and medium, so it keeps it like open, you know, and wet. And I think, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Just letting you know, Connie lost her uncle on Friday, and her aunt is being taken off of life support tonight.
Oh my gosh, is that Connie Zach?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, Connie, I'll be praying for your family. I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry.
She's glad that you came on tonight because she really needed this.
Oh, you needed lifted up, I'm sure. Oh my goodness, I'm glad you're on. Give my love to the kids also, and I hope Tyler's having a better week. Connie, like our painting family is our family. Connie has been painting with us for about 3 years, and then just adore her and her family. I'm sorry you're going through that. But see, these big leaves can come out so pretty. You can put the stems in first, of course, but I'll show you how to put some stems, you know, or some veins through there also. I have no words at the end of the day today. None.
Lynn's asking how much water is in the paint. I don't know if that was to you or to Violet.
Oh, okay. So here, I'm not using any water in the paint when I'm painting the bigger leaves because I'm kind of dry brushing. It's not a lot of paint in, or not a lot of not a lot of paint that I'm using because I want it to kind of run out. These ones here, I am watering down the pile, and I'll show you again. I have to water down the base color of it, not all of it, just the base color, and I'll show that again, just in case that question's for me. Okay, so let me just, I'm gonna get my script liner again, okay. I love to make leaves, and I know not everybody does, so I'm sorry. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit of black.
And where's Luann?
What was that?
Where's Luann?
Luann, her mother is very ill. She's in ICU. We missed her this weekend. She had us pack up everything for her. And so...
hates leaves.
Oh yeah, she hates. We were just talking about that yesterday because she was supposed to be in that class with the pink bouquet. You know, this class, the one I showed, and so her mom is battling COVID as well, and she has pneumonia, and yeah. So I'm gonna go a little darker on that one and just use black instead of like a charcoal gray. So initially, if you want, so these leaves, I'm gonna show you two things. Like you can put veins in them. I'll highlight this with white, okay? Or you can just put a very slight, like, little line down the middle. It depends on how much detail you want in them. So a lot of times I'll just take my 1/2 inch flat. I'll just tap that off. I didn't wash my brush or anything. I just have a little bit of white, and I'll just go like this, like down the middle, just to give it a little bit of, you know, little bit of highlight there, and I won't go into making veins and stuff, but sometimes we do. So what I do here is I'm gonna wash my script liner. I can zoom in again. Do you want me to zoom in again? I have this new arm on my easel. It goes out real far, so I have to like go out around it. I finally switched it, Linda, after all this time.
It's good for me, but I'm on my laptop with my great big monitor, so I'm not watching you on my iPad.
You're not watching something small. So then what I would do is I go right on the top side of your, you know, of your veins and put a little bit of a highlight. So if you're gonna do that, that went a little too far. If you're gonna do that, you wanna make sure that it's very soft, that you're not putting a big bold line here, that I'm just dragging my brush. So let's talk about something else too. To make this light mark, generally you need to rest your hand to stay steady. I'm on a dry part of the canvas. Let me move this in. I'm on a dry part of the canvas. I have this lockdown here. I have very extensive spinal cord injury where I do get shaky if I'm painting all day, or I'm using my arms all day. And to stay steady, I rest my hand, but so do all of our other instructors at the studio as well. Because if you hold your brush straight up like this, up in the air like this, and you're not rested, you tend to press harder. You can be a little bit unsteady. So you want to make sure that you are resting your hand, that you're holding your brush down by the metal also. Also what I do is I flatten down the script liner, and then I use that. Look how skinny it gets, super, super skinny. And so I flatten that down as well. Make sure you don't have a ton of paint on there. A lot of times I'll go like this first, and just to make sure I know you don't want to be covered in paint like me. But you want to make just a very light mark. I'm always covered in paint. I ruined.
I'm laughing.
Always. I don't, you know, I say I'm not going to wear new clothes to the studio ever because I ruin them, but every once in a while I do. They get ruined. I can't stay clean. And
I can't put paint on my plate without getting it.
I am the same. So when I start throwing paint on a plate, this was that stem that I put in initially for the other leaves, so it looks a little crazy coming out of there. But and the other thing, guys, painting with acrylics, it's so forgiving because you can change anything. You can take your paint towel. We use these paint towels. They're called like oil rags. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them at Harbor Freight just had a big sale on them, and we wash them over and over and over again. But you can wet that, take your paint rag, wipe anything off if it's even damp at all, okay? Even if it's dried for a little bit, you can usually scrub it off. The other thing that you can do is you can paint over it later. Don't ever like worry to try something new, because you can fix it if you don't like it. Don't stress. The other thing that I tell people also is that, you know, it takes a little bit of time to build a painting. So if you're just learning something and you're painting it for the first time, don't feel like it's going to be done right away. There's always a process. You got to trust the process. There's a method to the madness on how we build paintings. You know, so we build 3-dimensional paintings. So the paintings, you know, look like they have some life to them. They're not flat. If you paint something all one shade, then it's going to look flat. But if you continue to, even in a handful of paintings with us, you actually gain so many skills. Before you know it, you'll be looking at things and you'll know how to paint it. Right, Linda?
Yep.
It'll just, you know, it comes together, and with practice it gets easier and easier. But you'll, like with our members, you would not believe it. If I could only post all the things that are in our group, it's there's a new painting posted I swear every couple minutes, and they're incredibly beautiful. And so, and I think it was Dawn Dooley, one of our members. I'm going to turn this way for a minute. Dawn Julie, she made this post and she was like, can everybody put their first painting and then put what they're working on now in? My chair sunk down. And it was amazing to see. Did you see all that, Linda?
No, I missed that one.
Yeah, it was. So all these posts are flipping up and they're in one post as well. And so it's really something to see. So you will keep adding tools to your toolbox. Before you know, you'll be driving down the road and you'll be like, I know how to paint that tree. I know how to paint those clouds. I can paint that house, you know. And so it's really something to see. You'll pick up. And so people start looking at our paintings and they may just glance at the notes then instead of watch the whole tutorial, because they already know, you know, because I kind of have a method to my madness and how I put things together, and they're learning that. And so it's really something to see. I love it so much. And I love when someone creates something on their own and shows that also, or changes something up. I love to see that too. It makes me happy, you know, to see, because I love to teach myself new stuff too. I love it. So I'm going to go here. Does that, oh, wait, the leaves.
You got questions?
Oh, go ahead. I want to show another thing too that Kelly asked.
First of all, Cindy said that's because you give us so many to choose from.
Aw, thanks, Cindy.
And next, of course, I responded back to Becky. She says she gets paint on her hands and she opens up the bottle. So do I.
Same, yeah.
Janet wants to know if you have pottery wheels in your studio.
I do not, but we do have, I'm going to go back here. We do have it's what, 20 minutes from us. Our members went there for Members Weekend right before we had Members Weekend. They went the day before and they threw, and we go there. I take our team there from the studio also to throw, you know, pots and stuff. So fun. But we didn't bring them into our studio yet.
And Trudy has an unrelated question. She wants to know when the members workshop be posted to register. And by the way, you're muted.
I'm muted?
Now I can hear you.
Oh, okay. That was weird. Okay. Sorry about that. So the members workshop, I'm going to be posting, we have the save the date in there, which is, you probably know that, Linda, because I kind of went over around your vacation schedule a little.
Yeah,
so it is, I think it's the 3rd week of September. So we have the save the date. I'll repost that. But we're going to post registration starting in March. March 1st is when we'll post registration. And we're very, very excited for this year. Yes.
It starts September 18th is what I have.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
What's
around the
legal
3rd week.
business, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm very
19th
excited.
and 20th, 21st.
Last year was the first year we had our members weekend. We had members flying in from all over the country, and we spent, it was a 3-day members weekend, but a lot of members stayed for 5 days, and it was fantastic. So I can't wait for this year. We have a lot in store. Very exciting. Yeah.
Linda wants to know, is that Geller lipstick? If so, what color is it?
It is. Listen, this is, so one of my girlfriends told me about this Geller makeup, and I just threw it on today, and so I don't really, and it stayed on, and then I just put the lipstick on it, and this stays shiny, and I have dry lips, and it's a 2-pack. It has a berry and something else. It was on sale for like $10. And so I can grab it if you want, or I'll put it in the comments afterwards. But it is literally like, it's complete moisture. I was so surprised. I was trying to find a makeup that doesn't settle into like mid-50s is, the wrinkles. I was trying to find something. Yeah, it's just, I hate to say the age anymore, but I want to find something that didn't settle in under your eyes. I just would refuse to put makeup under here. And when I did, it would get in the creases. And I get ready like it really, really fast. So I'm not someone who could take a long time to get ready. And they have this like baked foundation that's like a powder, and you put it on with tapping a brush. And I kind of like it. It's my first day though.
Let's see.
But thank you for asking about the lipstick. I'll post it in there later. I really liked it. I'm glad you do too.
Lucy wants to know if that's Laura Geller.
Yeah, it's Laura Geller. Yep, Laura Geller. And I got, it's like,
Trudy says wants to come to members weekend. Kim says she hopes to come.
Oh yay, I can't wait. Listen, I felt like everyone that came to members weekend, I felt like we knew them already. We're so close with our members, and here's something too. So our membership, this is so exciting. So our membership was always $49 a month, okay? And you got everything in the vault, which is like, we don't even know how many things in there. I know there's over 2,000 recordings. There's, I think about almost 600 full tutorials. The rest are techniques and things like that, and workshops and all of that stuff. And so we decided this past fall, to do a membership drive. And with every member that joined, it helped to lower the price of the membership so we can continue with our team to do what we do on the back end and still have everybody in place and keep the membership going, but reduce the price. And so we were at $24.99 a month from $49 a month just a few months ago. And we are our goal is to get to $20 a month and stay there. We are like 44 people away from $20 a month. Can you believe that, Linda?
I'm glad.
Oh my gosh, yes. Well, the reason why we decided to is because we know that things are tight. People are struggling. And we know that we have so many members on fixed incomes as well. And we want them to be able to continue to paint with us and be in their happy place with us and still have, be inspired all the time. And because that is something, like, we are so inspired by seeing everybody's work and talking to everybody and working together every week. And the only time someone would leave, they would write us and be like, I hate to leave, but it's always for financial reasons. So my whole goal was to get us down to $20 and for everything. And we are just a hair away. It's really something. And it was fast, our members share. So if you could share our post, we would love that. If you can share our live to let other people know that they can paint beautiful paintings also with simple, easy to follow strokes, we would love that. If you can share that. Also, say hello if you're on here, because Eliza always does a prize wheel for everybody that has been on one of our lives. We do that. We give away Casey Cash in our app, so you can get brushes with it and things like that. So make sure you say hello, because so many of our ladies get brushes and stuff with that money. And so say hello, because we do a prize wheel every time. Every single time.
Lucy says, all right, gang. Everybody bring somebody on board. That's your homework again.
Oh, thanks, Lucy Lou. Thanks for sharing, too. Oh, Janet, we hope you can make it to Members Weekend. Yay. Linda, we can't wait until you can come paint with us. We would love that so much. You're very welcome, Charlene. Yeah. Oh, thanks so much, Becky. Look, we have the best people. I meant to ask you what your skincare regimen is. Oh, it's so shiny. It's the palette. It's the Laura Geller palette. No, for my face, I just use that. I use Aveeno body wash. That's all I use, and then I use L'Oreal like that retinol cream. We get it from Costco's because like you can get a 2-pack for like $25, I think, or $30 there. And then I just started using this Laura Geller today. I really like it. Thank you so much. You know, I just finally this year I'm like, I need to start using something else. My girlfriend, she used to yell at me because I would just use whatever, you know. And she was like, listen, we're getting a little older, you know. So my friend,
Cindy says you look like you're in your mid-30s.
Oh my gosh, you're so nice. That's lighting. There's lights. There's lights. Oh, thanks for sharing, guys. Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you. Nope, I'll be 53 this year. The big 53. So, you know, I can finally say it. It goes by too fast, don't you think? I think it goes by too fast. Mm-hmm. You know? For sure. Okay, let's make some, I want to make a couple of those little like filler leaves to show you guys. So we have these in here. I'm going to show you a couple of these. This is with chunky paint, okay? So I have these in different shades through here. That's the cactus green with the white. And thank you guys, you're so nice. You can do this with the browns with the white also. You know, what I do when I'm creating a floral arrangement is I will, I'll look at wildflowers or look at flowers. So you can Google anything, guys. I always talk about, like, when I'm building paintings, if I can't see it or it's not in my memory, you need to Google it and just go from one thing to the next. Look at the real thing. Get your own sense of, you know, what something looks like. I don't know why I'm making gray. Let me go over here. And so, like, I'll look at wildflowers and I'll look when I'm trying to make something look a little realistic, but not put all the detail. I want to simplify it to the point where it has a couple implications of what it is, you know? So you can do, that's too light on the black. But I always tell people, like, Google it. And then, you know, what happens when you start doing stuff like that? You'll be like, oh, I like that color. Oh, I see that shadow. Oh, I see where the light hits on that. You know, you'll get inspired. I wish I could paint all day, every day. I love it so much. So, guys, this is a very small filbert brush that's in our pack. Do I have one of our packs sitting here? Let me see. To show, I do. So this is a little tiny filbert brush, okay? We use this to scrub in, dry brush shadows in all the time in small places. I love it so much. So guys, we're going to use this to pull in from the sides. If you don't have this, you can always use just a round brush, all right? So I'm going to get a little bit of my cactus green. You can do this with browns. You can do this with, you know, greens. I'm going to touch my weight and then tap it off. This is kind of like chunky paint, all right? This brush I've really abused quite a bit. Like, I scrubbed in a lot of shadows. Let me see if I have another one. I just take a handful of brushes and set in front of me. No, we'll just use it. So what I do, Kelly, is I just pull this in from the side like this. It doesn't have a good tip on it because I dry brush things to death with this, but I'm just pulling this in from the side, just like that.
Janet wants to know.
Yes. Hi, Janet.
If you have Deco Art Americana paint, what can you add to it to make it a little thicker?
A little thicker.
Yeah.
So, you could, if you needed to make paint a little thicker, you could probably put a tiny bit, like mix it with some molding paste or texture if you have that on hand. But I've never attempted to make paint thicker. Like, I've used texture quite a bit, but not done it to make it thicker. So, or if you have, I'm trying to think, what else could she use, Linda? I'm just getting a flatter one of these.
I don't know. That's what I was trying to think of.
I gotta find all my little tiny, here's one that I didn't ruin. You could use, Kelly, you could use the mini liner that's in our, to make these smaller too, that's in our pack would be fine. You can make like brown ones if you wanted to too, a little bit of white. Okay, that's terracotta there, but you can make another one like, and just pull it from the sides. This is how we make wheat too, with gold and then white. Just pull them from the sides like that, little filler flowers, okay? All right, and then we'll make some hydrangeas. Does anybody else have any questions, Linda?
Cindy says she's used matte medium before.
Oh, good. Thanks, Sandy.
And then Cindy.
Oh, Cindy. Thanks, Cindy.
Shirley wants to know, can you paint a partially folded leaf?
Yes. Let me go back to the black. Here we go.
And then we've got Linda Clark want to know about adding gesso. It would lighten it though.
So yeah, gesso is thin based, yeah, but it's probably, it may be a little thicker than that paint. It might be. So guys, if I want like, this is the outside, is that what you, and like say this folds, like this is the outside of the leaf, all right? You would leave right in here dark. Is that what you're talking about? Like one folding over like that. So I'm gonna get my 1/2 inch flat. Let me go back to the plate with the greens. All right. And so I'm not going to use a lot of highlight on the back of that. So say I have just a touch of white, tap that off. So I go on the back side. I'm going to pull this in and over. Okay.
Oh, now you got the questions flowing in.
Keep you busy.
Chipper said that she's used gel medium with craft paints to get it thicker. Violet was
That's smart. Yes. Very nice idea.
Violet was saying something about adding baking soda. I've never heard of that one.
Oh, wow. It's always, listen, I love when everybody puts their heads together, you know? And so guys, so this side, say this is the other side of the leaf. You're going to lift off as you're coming towards the middle. Okay. Lift off, lift off.
Linda Clark wants to know, how do you do lilacs?
How do I do what?
Lilacs?
Lilacs?
Lilacs. The flower, lilacs.
Like a lilac? That?
Yes.
Okay. I was like, I was gonna say, is that a Minnesota thing?
No, that's a southern thing.
That's a southern thing. So guys, if you want this side, you want to make this side look like, it's a little bright, that it's like closer towards you, you know, like this is a side, it's kind of like folded in. You would make this a little bit brighter, you know, and then you can go back. I'm going to pull a little bit more green through there. You can go back and like this, you don't want it as black. I don't like my fold on there, but.
And then,
I don't like how that's folded. Let's X that out. I'll do another one for you.
okay.
Yeah.
Kelly wants to know, she said, I started mine from the top instead of the bottom. Does that make a difference?
From the top instead of the bottom. For the leaves? No, for those like dotted ones that I just did, no, that's actually probably a little bit easier. So you start with the point and then pull them in, you know? Does that make sense?
Does to me, but
Yeah, so no, that's smart.
to Kelly.
Yeah, you can do that. That could be easier for people. So you can start with narrow and then get, a little wider. So if you wanted to, let's do this instead. It's a better example. So if you wanted to make this look like this is bent, what we're going to do is we're going to highlight this a little bit more. Okay. The part that goes away from you, that'd be darker, be down here. And then this would also be a little darker coming here, okay? Instead of having it fold like a cocoon like I was doing. I'm like, I had to think about it. Okay, so.
I wonder if she means like that or she means like one that's kind of curled.
Well, that's what I was doing over here. I was starting the curled one. And then I thought, maybe that's not what she meant.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
So here, what we're going to do, I'm going to show you. What we'll do is we're going to pull this. I'm going to show you how to make it a little bit brighter in the areas you want to make it look like it's standing out, or coming out towards you, okay? Is anybody ready for bed yet?
Let's see, what else?
I'm such a night owl. I work until at least probably 1 or 2 every morning.
So it says curled, but the hanging is good too.
Okay, so this will show you how to make it, darker and lighter in some areas. So over here, I didn't want to turn my canvas on you again. So just a little bit of paint. I'm using the back of my brush, okay? The back of my brush. When you have something like this, so you would have a little bit brighter through here on the bend, all right? Because that's coming out towards you. So I'll wipe off my brush. You can get yellow, you can get white. Don't wash your brush. When you're painting leaves, try not to wash your brush, all right? So I'm gonna make my highlight up here, all right? And you're going to do that a couple of times. I'd rather you layer things when you're painting than just put in one solid, color in there, okay? So white and a little bit of yellow. Generally, I'd get the base in for this, and then I'd come back when this is a little bit tacky dry, and then I'll take the paint for the highlight much, much better. But what you would do is you'd layer up right here. So I'm using the back of my brush. I'm following my shape. And when I'm making the stroke, I'm making one long, one short, one long, one short. The reason why I do that when I'm making it is because if you start and stop at the same place, you'll build a little block in there, okay? And we don't want to do that. And generally it would take this highlight a little bit better if it was a little drier, okay? So you just want to keep layering right here, one long, one short. And then once you get this in, then you can, you can get your veins in and everything like that. But you want to get your highlights in. And then as you come down here, it'll start getting a little bit darker, okay? Do you see how this part up here is starting to look like it's, coming out towards you just a little bit?
Elaine's asking about what colors do you mix together to make magenta? I was trying to remember.
So magenta is a little hard to mix because of the pigment. You know what I mean? So magenta pigments, you'll have very bright magenta pigments, You can always mix reds and purples together. I'm going to just put a little bit of a shadow back in through the middle here, just a little bit. You can always just take a little bit of your green and black and get your shadows in there too. And then that way it looks like it's folding in the middle also, And then, but magenta is I would take your red. The others, this is a color I love to have on hand now. I'll show you. It's that fluorescent pink. But colors like that are fluorescent or really, really bright generally has to do with, it's very hard to mix something that's really bright. And of course, guys, if you're making a much smaller leaf, this is a little bit big. Now I'm just grabbing a little bit of white. If you're doing something smaller, it would take less effort, less time, less strokes, you know. Okay, like that. So that's how you start making something look like it's bent. And then under here, like when you're highlighting this, if you want that to bend in, you leave that a little darker. And then you can go in and do your veins from there.
Shirley says she gets it. Thank you.
Oh, good. Okay, yay. All right, so we're gonna go to our hydrangeas. I'll get a pencil. What was I gonna grab? Oh, so I was gonna grab this fluorescent pink. Okay. I'm gonna show you the prettiest magenta that I've ever gotten that I love so much. So this Soho paint, it comes in smaller containers, of course. This magenta is the best pigment ever. It is gorgeous. Let's see if I can open it. It's just about empty, but look at that. So you can't really mix something that bright. That's why I was like, oh, that's one that's hard to mix, you know? But if you have like a red and you put this in it, this fluorescent pink, you can get close. Okay? But I don't want you to have to buy anything. This is the Lucas magenta, and then Creative Inspirations magenta is just about the same. Okay. All right, so I'm going to show you two different ways to make hydrangea. Okay, so we've done both, and actually this painting here, I've showed both. Like last night in the class, I showed. Oh, I'm still zoomed in. Sorry. There we go. So I showed like how to color block this in behind, or how to start by making the flowers a little darker behind. Okay, so I'll show you both ways. All right. I think I've bumped the camera over and over again. Maybe.
Yep, you have.
Yeah. I'm good for that. Okay. I haven't even looked at the screen for a little bit. Does anybody... Oh, thanks so much, Cindy. I do love pastel colors. I do. Okay, guys, so you just want to, whenever you're drawing something, you'll see me use a 2B pencil a lot, which you should not do, especially on a white canvas, because it will smear when you paint, and then you'll have to coat it a few times. Use a hard pencil, something that's like 4H, 5H, things like that. In the studio, our girls that draw with our Luma projector, all of our canvases, they use the 5H, okay? So when you're making a hydrangea, they're not perfectly circular. I think a lot of times when people make them, they think, you know, they should make them perfectly circular, but you don't want to. You want these like, you know, kind of edges like this, you know, just like not perfect. Perfectly imperfect, okay? So I'm going to show you one hydrangea where we just color block in a base color, and then I'm going to show you another one where we put in the base color of the flower that way, okay? So let me get, this is a little Van Dyke brown. This is terracotta over here, okay? Like that terracotta pot color. I'm gonna get that. I have a little rose. This is magenta, so if you put white in magenta, you're going to get this rose color. This is a Bob Ross color, alizarin crimson. I really like that as like a base color too. So I just put that on there to show you that you can use that as, you know, a base color for a flower also. It's very pretty. That one's the Lucas one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just watering down a little bit of paint. And say these are all meeting right here, you always have to make it a little bit darker, like where the shadow is going to be. So I'll start with a little bit of the browns, and then I'm going to pull in my rose, all right? And this is how you color block in the hydrangea before we put the flowers in, okay? So the other side, I'm just going to show you how to start with putting your darker flowers in. And by the time we do that, I can come back over and start building this one. And you can see which way you want to do, okay? Or you can try them both and see what's easiest for you. So I'm going to go over here. And I want this edge out here to be somewhat soft, all right? We want it like a little lighter, so you might even want to put a little bit of white in that. And this doesn't have to be perfect, all right? So if you are a perfectionist, this is all gonna get covered. So don't worry, all right? So, and I still don't want so much of a, a brighter, even though it's a soft pink. I love this rose. You can create this rose with red and white, magenta and white. I'm just cheating again. It's a Lucas paint. Okay, but don't forget to have your shadows in there. These browns are really nice, and you can just use dark brown. You don't need anything else. I use this terracotta like in our tutorial. Everyone's painting such a beautiful arrangements. They're, a lot of people will not paint the night we go live. They watch and we all interact, and then they paint afterwards, and then they all start posting, and they're coming out beautifully. But I do recognize that, people are a little afraid of painting leaves, like it scares them. So that's why I thought I would come on and do that. So what we want to do is we want to work with our filbert brush. Okay, the filbert brush has a rounded tip. I have a couple here. If I'm working on a couple different hydrangeas, I will actually keep both out because I don't want water in there. So I'll have like 2 out if I'm doing that, but I'll work on the same color here. All right, just interrupt me anytime, okay, Linda? So I'm gonna make a base color here. So I'm gonna pull in a couple different shades, all right? So I wet this brush, then I tap it off on my paint towel. I'm just gonna get a base color. Since I use a little heavy base paints, they've been sitting out for a little while, I'm going to put a little bit of water in them, okay? But we won't be using water later. So we need to get like our shadowed ones first. So we're gonna get a little bit of brown in here. So this is where I am gonna zoom in again. I hope you don't mind.
No, Becky was asking if she could do a close-up.
Yes, okay. So what we're going to do, I have this light down by my head now. Let me move that a little. Okay, there we go. What I'm gonna do is you're pulling in and you're lifting off. You're pulling in and lifting off, pulling in and lifting off, all right? One thing that people have a hard time doing is they have a hard time not just putting these all next to each other, okay? But if you look at a flower arrangement, you're not gonna see all the faces of the flowers facing you. You're gonna have some that are like, and we're gonna overlap some too. So you're gonna have some where you're gonna see like just 2 sides or 1 side, okay? You're gonna have some where we're gonna overlap. Most important thing that I want you to do right now is I want you to practice the stroke of outside in, outside in, outside in, lifting off, lifting off, lifting off. If you don't lift off, then you're not going to leave that center open too, which we're gonna put a darker color in. But these ones down here will be a little bit darker, and then as we come out, I'll start using a little bit of my pink, a little bit more of my white, and gradually make this lighter as I come out. But I want you to get used to that stroke. When we do this over here, it's going to leave a little bit of darkness in the center. You can overlap these. Look. Don't keep them all separated. If there's anything that I see that walking around a room is people putting one flower here right next to it, putting another flower right next to it, putting another flower. We're putting these really close together, sometimes on top of one another, okay? So I'm gonna keep making this a little lighter, like towards this outside edge up here. Down here it might get a little shadowed again, But there's a couple steps in going and highlighting these, and they don't look right until you actually get the dark center in and then the white highlight in that center too. So you have to follow the process clear to the end.
Kathy wants to know.
Yes.
Why wouldn't you use a darker version of the top colors to block it in?
Of this color here, of the shadow. So we have color blocked or used a black canvas and just, you know, had a really dark shade through there. You can definitely do that. We have that in some of our paintings. But this one, the reason why we didn't do that, Kathy, is because this painting is so pastel. So I didn't want anything too dark, like coming through there, you know? And so that's why we're using the colors for the shadows behind there instead of really making it, you know, pretty dark where we'd have to, you know, highlight it a lot to get it to where we wanted it. So that's why this one's a little bit different. Because it's pastel. That's a great question. Okay, so we're gonna let this dry. I just overlapped a lot on there. We're gonna let it dry. Okay, let's go over to this side. So I'm gonna start getting my rose, maybe a little bit of white. Okay, I always start in the brightest area first. So I'm gonna start in the center, lifting up. Okay, I'm gonna overlap a little bit. Okay. Some people tell me they prefer this way over here. And some people tell me they prefer this way over here, putting like, you know, color blocking it first. But I would say the majority of our paintings are color blocking it behind. And most of them, like Kathy said, are a little bit darker behind there. Because we have to put in darker centers, and that's probably what she's thinking, like, why wouldn't you make that darker? Because of the darker center showing through. And the reason why I don't want that, Kathy, is because I foresee people having a very harsh edge to get rid of on a pastel painting. And so I just think of things like that, that would be harder for people to get rid of. That's all. Because I want this very soft edge out here. So this is going to get brighter over here.
She says that makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome. But it makes it like, I know exactly why you asked that. It's a great question because most of the time we do. But this painting's like so light, you know. And so I want this edge to be blended out. But do you see how sometimes I'm just making 2 strokes, sometimes 3. And it really doesn't matter until you get to the last, you know, steps of highlighting this. Okay. I'll show you. It all comes together all at once, and this will come together fast. Okay. We still want these ones not to be as bright where they're coming together in, you know, in through here. You didn't want to go to bed or anything soon, did you, Linda? Sorry, you're right. Did you regret getting on with me? No. Okay, good. All right, so guys, I'm gonna thank you so much for your help. I appreciate it. So I
don't have to get up early in the morning.
That's true.
I'm taking vacation until my retirement date.
No, you're not. So you were off until then?
Yeah.
I love that so much. So guys, I'm going to decide, look, I'm not even going to follow the other steps there. I'm going to put a flower right there. And then I'll have some of these like poking through, you know. And then you can, if you wanted to follow some edges of the other ones, you could. We'll see here shortly. What?
Kathy says, yes, it is hard to get rid of the dark edge. I mean, so I hear.
Yeah.
Not that I did that.
Too funny. So guys, where we're making it pretty bright, that'll make your eye think that this is coming out towards you, okay? Still, trust me, we have a little ways to go to get to where we need to be, but go here and pull in. Over here.
She said she was getting sleepy.
Oh.
If I wasn't sitting up in my dining room on my laptop, I would probably go to sleep because Casey's voice just relaxes me.
Listen, Vicky tells me I put her to sleep all the time. She was like, I just put you on the big screen and then I fall asleep. Like, am I boring? I'm like, thanks, Vicky. It always makes me laugh. So, guys.
No, you're not boring. It's just your voice relaxes. It's just so relaxing to listen to.
I'm sure my husband doesn't think so. It's probably nails on a chalkboard. So guys, as I come down here, I have a lighter touch, softer. I don't want it as bright because I'm gonna make these bright in here. So I'm gonna come back to it again too. So that part looks like it's coming out towards you more. So remember, brighter is closer, darker is further away. Over here, I'm just gonna barely touch this in here, barely, 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 okay? So over here, I'm gonna go over and do the same thing. And you'll be able to see that you kind of come out with the same result, but you're going to see what you like better, you know, whenever you create it. What?
Lucy says we need a group of just us that can hang all night long.
All of us non-sleepers, right?
Yeah. And Kathy says that your voice is very soothing.
Oh, thanks. That's so nice. Thank you.
Becky says I've almost fallen asleep listening to Casey late at night. Vicky says she's trying to stay awake.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm keeping everybody. I planned on coming on an hour earlier, and this is what happened. I squirreled and I painted that Lazy Susan. It was sitting there and I was like, let me just paint that real fast, you know? And I do stuff like that. So I'm sorry. I did plan on coming earlier. You know, I stayed, you know, here this evening from the studio so I could. And then sorry.
Cindy Franklin says she went to sleep earlier this afternoon watching you paint something.
That's so funny. I wish I could put myself to sleep.
Donna says that since she's retired, she's a night owl. That's my problem. I'm getting so I stay awake late at night.
Yeah.
But I'm sleeping in.
Yeah. Oh, you're sleeping in.
Yeah, so I'm not getting up. So I have slept half the day away because of mindset of having to be up.
Yeah.
So many hours.
I do get that. Yeah. I feel like my body doesn't need as much rest this year, like since I've been doing a little bit better with my spine and stuff. And I feel like if I get 5 or 6 hours, like that's a ton of sleep for me. And so I feel pretty awake in the morning. So I'm just going to make some of these brighter. You know what it is? It may sound crazy, but I started, like when it got cold, I bought grounding sheets. And I read all these reviews about them because remember I was walking in my bare feet, you know, thinking that'll help my back, which it did, and it helped me sleep. Well, then when it got cold, you can't do that, you know. So of course, my dad tells me about these grounding sheets. He's like, why do you tell everybody everything I tell you to try? But my dad wants me to feel better with my spinal cord injury. That's why, you know, he's always looking for stuff. But anyways, the grounding sheets do help. You know, my son sleeps now. We're all sleeping. I got them for my parents for Christmas. I was shocked, you know, so I feel pretty refreshed in the morning. Like I can stop work at 2 o'clock in the morning or painting and literally go up and go to sleep and then wake up at 7 and I'm fine. It's weird.
So we've got some of them that tapped out. Teresa says she's going to bed. She says you have a sweet, joyful voice, but she says she's going to sleep.
Thanks for coming on, Teresa. I'm almost done.
So, Lori, she says, I'm waving the white flag and giving up bedtime.
That's so funny. Lori, sleep well. You sleep well too, Teresa. So guys, all I'm going to do is, believe it or not, I have like 2 minutes left on here. I have to put the centers in dark and then light, and we're almost there. So if you can hang on, anybody that's left, just a few minutes.
Chipper says, I like Casey's laugh the best, so she likes your laugh.
Oh, thank you. I actually feel like I have this crazy laugh. I'm one of those people who can't watch myself, look at myself, but when I laugh, I know it's loud. But thank you. That's so nice of you. So I put dark, like a little bit darker here in the center. That's why that's dark there. And so I didn't make it as dark over here. If I would have, it would look more, you know, it would look more similar to that. But don't you like this terracotta with pink? Isn't it pretty? I think terracotta with pink is really pretty.
My terracotta looks like cottage cheese.
Does it?
Yes. I have trouble with, I don't know, because I live up here or what. My Lucas paints.
Yeah.
Has a tendency to I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Separate, I guess.
No way.
Yep.
Well, that stinks. I've only had one get a little gross, and it was the peachy pink, and I never ordered it again, you know. Peachy pink, and then, no, I take that back. There was one other one. A steel blue bottle was like weird once.
I've had metallic do that.
Really?
Metallic gold.
Really?
Talk about disappointing. Considering the cost of that one.
Oh yeah, metallic is so expensive for sure. Guys, so I'm just gonna mix a little bit of you can use your terracotta and brown, you could use a little crimson and brown. Don't make this too dark, but I'll tell you the mistake that I see made with this too, putting in the centers, that people actually make a round dot in there. You're better off just to kind of scrub a mark in this ones you think are the centers, or you choose to be the centers of your flowers. Don't make it perfect. It's more of like a shadow. Don't make a round dot. I went around in class last night. Even Sam, who's one of our instructors, she's still learning techniques. You know, she's young, and she started scrubbing in round dots, making circles. I went around the class too. I made them take white and scrub them back out and put them back in again. And so, because your eye will draw right to that circle, okay? So just kind of scrub that in. All right, and even if you just go back and forth instead of making a circle, okay? We don't want this super dark circle, okay? So then I'm gonna come over here and do the same thing. The other thing you could do is to say I wanted a little bit more darkness in here, I can go in between some of these and put a little bit of a shadow in there too. If I wanted it darker like here. You can also, I have videos where I'll go and I'll put a low, like a little bit of a shadow, you know, in between stuff, and then pull a couple pieces of white back through too. We didn't do that with this one, but there's a couple where I really, you know, I want to have a ton of dimension where it looks like that sinks right down in through there. And I'll put a little bit of a low light back through there.
Everybody agrees. They said it's very pretty with the terracotta and pink.
Oh, good.
Tracy, I think, is crazy because she is working on the pink bouquet
while she's on here.
She's watching you on her phone and doing the pink bouquet on her laptop.
Oh my gosh, now that is multitasking. I can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see. You know what I loved about this painting so much?
Shelly wants you to scrub the center in the plate. Do it on the plate, not on the canvas, not in the flower, so she can see what you're talking about.
Yep. So I get these colors, and instead of making a circle, people want to just make a round circle. It's not a good circle on a plate. But what I do is I just go like this. I just grab a little mark. You know, just like that. You see that? I just little bit of a mark, very little paint. You really have to scrub it on, and I don't make it perfect either. Some of them are a little bit longer and some of them are a little bit shorter. Some of them I'm just putting a shadow in, you know, because I want to add dimension. Remember about giving an implication, not giving all the details. Does that make sense? And so if I wanted to make this look you can even use a little bit more water. This filbert brush we use constantly to shadow things, dry brush, you know. This little tiny brush is probably my favorite brush.
Shirley says yes, thank you. Cream is doing the same thing. That's what's crazy is you both are crazy.
That's so funny. I can't paint and watch. You know what my new thing is when I paint is I am listening to audible books.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's my new thing. And I was like, why didn't I think about this before? Because I'm I never have time to sit and read anymore because I'd rather paint, you know. And years ago, I used to be a big reader, and there's no time to read. So I started playing my favorite, what I wanted to listen to, and I love that.
Well, I could do that too, except that I wouldn't be able to listen to you.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. So I'm doing it when I'm creating, you know. So, guys, go ahead. Was there another question?
Carolyn French I want to do the snowman. Can I still get to it? I'm not sure I know which snowman she's talking about.
Probably from the workshop. So the free workshop is still on the Facebook page, but also if you signed up for it, you have a library with a tutorial in there instead of searching the Facebook page. So you can email Miss Haley in customer service, and she'll send you a link to your library that has the snowman in it. So it has the stencils, the supplies list, it has the tutorials I uploaded in there after the workshop was over. So I'm gonna go.
Jody said something about dry brush, correct? I don't know if she's talking about you're scrubbing the centers.
So that's, yes, dry brushing is correct, yes. Yeah, so very, very little paint. So when we say it's very little paint. So we have to do one more thing here. I just want to zoom out so you can see it zoomed out also. You can use the back of a very small brush, or you can use, you know, the tip of your script liner or your, you know, mini liner, the little tiny brush in there.
And
But
Derek.
What was that?
Derek,
yes, Derek we
I
were
love
dry
Derek.
brushing with. I know he's one of my favorites. So guys, where that came from is we had these old brushes that I always painted with, and they were no longer anywhere. You couldn't find a name on them or anything, and so we had to make it. And it's really a small filbert is what it is, because we always like dry brushed and scrubbed in shadows with this, you know, little tiny brush. And it ended up when we made our brush line, I'm like, that's what it is. It's like a small filbert, and it works perfectly. Okay, guys. So,
Linda says, you're so kind to do this for us. I like your style.
oh, thanks, Linda. Thanks for joining us.
Shirley says, seems so simple. They look beautiful.
Oh, thank you. And these are...
Cindy says she listens to her Audible books to go to sleep at night.
No way. That's so smart. Maybe I'll do that, too. That's a great idea.
Carolyn French wants to know, how do I get to Haley?
So
you want to put your...
Yeah, I'll put the email back up again. Yeah, so you can just email her, and she'll give you a link. So guys,
Carolyn Richardson said this is the first time she's gotten to watch a live in a month.
Oh, I'm so glad you were able to get on. So this guy's here. This has a little bit of red with white in it, or you can use that. You can use the... This is awesome color. You can pull in a little bit of the fluorescent pink, but see the reds in here, but you can use this also. But this is a little bit softer. But I love the green, like the green, and then let me zoom out really quick so you can see these colors. I'm gonna zoom out and pull this down. So here I have like greens and yellows, but see how they don't form until you get that center in. You know, the center is everything. Do you see that? If you can see that. Here has a little bit of yellow in it, and these are so soft that you really, you know, there's not a lot of detail. You know, and then this pink, I have it a little bit brighter with some like reds in there, red with white. I went a little crazy with the leaves. Sorry about that.
No, you never do that.
I do. Like, I have a problem with the leaves. I do. So I was going to show you how, and I didn't get a chance because I painted that. Look, my chair sinks down. Like, I think this chair's going to break on me when it goes down real slow.
That's your new one, isn't it?
Oh, well, about a year ago. I tend to ruin chairs. I don't know why. My husband just said that he's cleaning out the unfinished basement, and I have a really good one for my back in there, and I broke it, and it started like flipping. And I'm so rough on chairs. I don't know why. But I was going to show you how we have stencils. Like, this is what the stencil looks like. In the library, we have supplies lists. We have notes. This is my other one that I painted. This was the one in the membership. And so he grabbed both when he came home from the studio today. But there's a lot of information. Also, if you ever get stuck on anything, you just send us a screenshot. Like, you can always email it to us if you have any trouble, and we'll help you get to where you need to be, you know, give you a few steps too. And then here's, if you want to find other ways to paint with us, you can always go to kckhq.com. We'd love to paint with you in the group if you're not in there already. But always let us know if you need anything. We love to paint with you. Thanks for jumping on tonight and staying so late. It's late. Aw, thanks, Karen. Thanks, Linda. You're awesome. Aw, your mom gets to go home tomorrow. I'm so glad, Karen. Yay. Let me see. Oh, I'm sorry. I know how hard that can be. I'm so sorry you went through that. I'm glad she's okay to come home. Yay. Oh, I'm so glad, Pam. Thanks so much. Thank you. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate you. Nothing like taking you by surprise.
That's okay. I told you anytime.
And guys, if you paint like your hydrangeas or your leaves, post them under here. I'd love to see them, okay? And I hope everybody gets some sleep. Thanks for joining me, and happy Monday to you tomorrow. Have a great Monday and the beginning of your week, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks, ladies, and thanks for sharing the post. We appreciate it. We'll see you later. Bye. Have a nice night. Thanks again. Oh, I'm glad. Thanks, Mary. Thanks, Debbie. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate it. Thanks, Becky.
Vicky made it.
There's Vicky. You're not sleeping. Did you nap? Thanks for jumping on. Oh, thanks, Chipper. I appreciate it. Good night, Glenda. Good night, Teresa Lee. Bye, ladies. Bye, Paulette. Bye, Patricia. Bye, Lucy Lou. Way too early to sleep. I'm with you. I'm going to do something else, Lucy Lou. Karen, hello. Bonnie, you're welcome. Hi, guys. Renee, thank you so much. Have a nice night, ladies. Bye.